Everyone gathered around Katie, except Ben, who never strayed from his workstation, and listened as she explained what she'd found. I knew from the moment we stepped inside that this was a false wall. For the past few hours, I've been searching for a lever or fulcrum of some sort, anything that would open a hidden door, she said. Though she spoke to everyone, she maintained eye contact with Bryan through most of her explanation. Obviously, I didn't find anything. There are no evident cracks or gaps in the mortar holding the stones together, and the floor and walls seem to be properly sealed together.
Yeah, get to the goddamn point. We have a lot more crap to film tonight, and then I want to get out of here,
Travis said. He popped the tab on another can of beer as he spoke. Katie ignored him. When tapping on the stones in the wall, however, they produce a different sound on the back wall than they do on any of the others. This leads me to believe that the false wall is thinner than the rest. She stopped and looked at everyone as if waiting for them to finish her thought. No one said anything. That means that whatever is behind here has been sealed in such a way that it would not be readily accessible or discoverable, but could be reopened if necessary. Everyone stood in silence. Wow. What I'm saying is that we can knock it down. The false wall is built correctly, but with thinner materials. It should be fairly simple to break apart with a couple of hammers.
Let me pull some tools out of my ass and we'll get started, Creepy Joey said.
Katie turned her attention on him, and it was immediately evident that he didn't want it. He averted his eyes like a dominated dog staring at the floor. I brought some, she said. The next time you feel like speaking to me, don't. Travis smiled broadly at her threat. He seemed to relish the tension between them. Turning around, he looked back at Ben's workstation.
How's the feed from all of the helmet cams? Good to go,
Ben called from across the room.
All right, let's get your hammers and see what we can find, Travis said.
Kyle stood at the wall, tapping on it with his knuckles. I don't think we'll need them. The mortar is pretty thin here. He took a step back and kicked the wall. Dust and dirt cascaded down as Kyle kicked at it again and again, a large section of the wall bowing with each impact. His foot punched through on the fourth kick, his leg going knee-deep into the wall. See? No big deal, he said, pulling his foot free. Travis leaned over to Bryan, but kept his eyes on Kyle as he continued to kick stones free.
What the hell do you feed him?
Short, arrogant asshole television hosts, Bryan said with a straight face. The sound of more large rocks breaking free and landing on the floor blocked out most of the vulgarities Travis spewed out. Kyle finally stepped away, waving his hands in the air to clear the cloud of dust. He'd opened a 4-foot-wide hole that started about 3 feet above the floor. They would have to step over a section of the wall, but it was big enough for all of them to get through. Katie stepped forward, intent on being the first to explore the new area.
Whoa there, author lady,
Travis said, putting his hand up in a stop gesture.
This is our show. We have to be the ones that go first.
Stick your show up your ass. Katie stood by the hole, shining her powerful flashlight inside. She blew at the dust swirling in front of her face and squinted into the darkness. Interesting, she said, and then stepped through the wall. Kyle looked back at Bryan and shrugged his shoulders. He pulled his cell phone from his pocket, started his flashlight app, and stepped through. Travis and Joey shared a glance before turning to Bryan.
Grab the camera from the altar and follow us in. We can cut around them already being in there, Joey said.
Bryan let out a long sigh, but didn't feel like arguing, so he went back and grabbed the camera. He switched it on and went through the process of turning the light on, adjusting the zoom and focus, and framing his 2 least favorite people through the viewfinder. They looked at him impatiently, and he gave them a nod when he depressed the record button. You just witnessed the Specter Slayers uncovering a hidden room at the legendary Danver Church. Now, we ask that you hold on to your loved ones and pray for our safety.